Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is Dark, Season 2, Episode 7. Last episode we had the heartbreaking revelation that nothing's changed, nothing can change, that Jonas had actually caused his own dad's death really by planting that idea in his head. And, Mikhail, I think he makes the right decision there potentially, because it would just cause a paradox if he didn't. So there was really no choice for him truly, and we still don't know if a paradox occurs. Kind of what happens in this show. Does a paradox occur and the timeline is just wiped from existence, or does it create a branch, there's now two timelines? I'm not sure how it really works in this show yet. We haven't actually had that confirmed, so it'd be interesting to see if there is actually any paradoxes that happen and how the show deals with them, how the time travel deals with them in this show. So before we jump into this, be sure to check out the Patreon page. Over there you can find 1 week early access, so you can get next week's video right now. You can also find polls so you can vote for what's next, and you can find a full-length timer-based version of this where you just sync upload footage and you can watch along with me. We are significantly far ahead on the full-length tier. At the moment it's around 7 episodes ahead. So if you are interested and just can't wait, do check that out. They're not as ahead on the early access tier, on the silver tier, just because I need to edit all of the videos as well. So yeah, let's just jump right in. Ooh, back to the painting, okay.
Der Mensch ist ein eigenartiges Geschöpf.
Is he just seeing her, or is she actually there? Hannah stealing the time machine.
Schmerz zu verdrängen. Das Verlangen zu unterdrücken.
Okay, it's just everyone seeing their loss.
Nicht im Leben. Nicht im Tod.
Of all people they've lost, maybe, that they're seeing.
Sein Schiff. Das Verlangen sein Kompass.
So is he doing this all for Marta for some reason? What's with those, were they maggots there? We've seen one bit. And then that painting again, kind of representing hell, I feel like. I mean, it looks like people in agony in all those bodies. Okay. Yeah, Apocalypse is close. Will it happen next episode? Season finale.
Wahrscheinlich 75, 80 Jahre alt.
Oh, Claudia?
Ein blaues, ein braunes. Nennt sich Heterochromie.
Yeah, just like my daughter.
Sie war auf dem Polizeirevier.
Yeah.
Ich für irgendwas entschuldigt. Ich hab nicht verstanden, wofür.
Der Körper ist völlig verstrahlt.
Radioactive, yeah. Does everyone get radioactive when they're, because they're time traveling so much, they kind of absorb it?
Sie muss über längere Zeit einer starken Strahlung ausgesetzt gewesen sein.
Imagine seeing your own daughter's death like that and not even realizing.
Vielleicht erkennt sie ja wieder.
I'm trying to think if Helga or Ulrich would actually recognize her in this state.
Ich muss die Zeit vergessen haben. Welcher Tag ist heute?
She's been doing all-nighters.
26. Juni.
Ah, the day Egon dies. How is it gonna happen? I feel like you should be more careful with it, handcuff it to yourself or something. It's a time machine. It's the most valuable thing in existence. Although, he doesn't expect Hannah to steal it. But there is still one here in the timeline. The kids have one, don't they? I mean, it's the same one technically, isn't it, right? Is there only one? We just see it in multiple iterations.
Das hat alles was mit mir zu tun. Noah hat gesagt, dass die Welt morgen untergeht.
She's at the center of it. Well, she knows to get to the bunker then, at least. Okay. Trying to see if I recognize either of them.
Es gibt unter dem Namen Alexander Köhler in dem gesuchten Zeitraum nur eine einzige Registrierung.
Und da sahen die Augen und hörten die Ohren. Und nichts war mehr verborgen.
I want to see that photo again, just to see if I recognize. So one was obviously Clausen, who was the other guy.
Dann machen wir das.
Wir. Hier gibt's doch kein Wir.
Look at that hatred in her eyes.
Das gab's doch noch nie.
Was soll das denn jetzt heißen?
Dass du monatelang wusstest, was hier abgeht und du hast es wieder...
Yeah, he's lost all the trust. Well, no one would ever believe it.
Kennst du diese Frau?
I mean, it's not in color, you're not showing the eyes, so you can't see the heterochromia.
Hat mir von ihr erzählt. Dem weißen Teufel.
Oh, she's the white devil. I guess the white hair.
Wer hat dir von ihr erzählt? Der Mann, der dir das da angetan hat?
The thing is, they kind of know Noah, don't they? Helga's mom actually knows Noah.
Sie will uns töten. Uns alle.
Everyone. But isn't that exactly what Adam's doing? He wants to erase the timeline.
Wir hatten doch besprochen, dass du zu uns ziehst.
Ich.
Schon vergessen?
This is her last few hours with him, really. I mean, aside from time travel. But is she doing this and that's going to cause his death somehow?
Was sollte mir da auffallen?
1,71, schätze ich mal. Maximal.
And Alexander Kolowizin.
Wo ist was?
Die 4 Zentimeter.
I thought he was going to say the passport. Obviously, we didn't have the same passport nowadays.
Wegen des Verdachts auf Identitätsmissbrauchs.
Das können Sie gar nicht.
I feel like there's not enough evidence, just the height being input there, you know?
Hanna? Jemand zu Hause?
You gotta talk to her? When was the last time we actually saw her, you know?
Hallo?
He's considering it. Is he actually gonna do it?
Wer sind Sie?
Komm doch rein.
Yeah, look at his face.
Willst du was trinken?
Does she kind of know?
Ich will dir keine Angst machen.
Ich glaube, ich habe gerade ein Déjà-vu oder so.
Du hast den Anhänger gefunden.
Yeah, he really gave her the clue.
Jonas.
Oh, he's got chills. The thing is, the actor, he does look good for his age. You know, it's supposed to be Jonas of 33 years, but he looks like he could be only like 15 years older or 10 years older.
Kennst du diesen Film mit dem jungen Kerl, der mit seinem Auto in die Vergangenheit reisen kann?
Back to the Future.
Das aus dem Film, das gibt es wirklich.
She already knows.
Und in Dingen, die vor über 30 Jahren passiert sind.
I mean, if he's gonna die now, you might as well tell him, give him that relief.
Herr Tiedemann! Herr Tiedemann! In Ihrem Büro wartet eine Frau auf Sie.
Is it middle-aged Claudia?
Der die Knaben umgebracht hat. Sie sagt, sie kennt ihn.
Or is it Hannah? Because she took the time machine. Oh, okay, yeah.
Ich suche meinen Mann.
Ah, she's saying he's a husband.
Ich glaube, dass das mein Mann ist.
She is a good liar.
Sie wissen, dass er letzten Winter verhaftet wurde wegen mehrfachen Mordes.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Er befindet sich momentan in einer psychiatrischen Einrichtung. Er redet nicht.
Could she get in trouble for not coming forward quicker? Could give a... Yeah, Nielsen.
Katharina Nielsen.
Ah, okay.
Ich hab dir versprochen, das alles wieder gut zu machen. Es tut mir so leid.
Is she going to reveal about Mikkel as well? Because she doesn't know that, does she?
Hanna! Hanna!
Mach da nicht. Bitte.
Oh, she's going to break through.
Weißt du, wer das ist? Hä? Hat er dir gesagt?
Yeah, just found out.
Wer dein Bruder ist?
Yeah, yeah.
Ist der Sohn deines Bruders. Mein Enkel und dein Neffe.
There we go. And he didn't get a chance to say that earlier as well, so now she thinks he was hiding it.
Hanna hat sie. Sie ist verschwunden.
But Martha knows where another one is.
Mama, Magnus hat den Apparat.
Was?
Just kept him sitting in the dark room like that. What is he playing at here?
Mein Bruder ist auch spurlos verschwunden. 86.
It wasn't his brother that he killed, is it?
Nichts. Und er hieß auch Alexander. Alexander Köhler.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Bei der Trennung meiner Eltern habe ich den Nachnamen meiner Mutter angenommen. Und Köhler?
Wilson. Okay.
Bin ich bis heute.
I knew there was something more personal here for him. He couldn't have been that devoted just because.
Lesen Sie. Laut.
Is this someone who assigned him to this case or gave him info? I was thinking maybe did Alexander the actual Collar's body show up somewhere else?
Die Antworten zu ihrem Bruder finden Sie in Winden.
Okay, maybe Adam sent that. That's kind of what I'm gathering. Or someone from Sigmundus.
Sind definitiv nicht mein Bruder.
Okay. Does he suspect he killed him though? You know, gone without a trace. Clausen might actually be hopeful that the brother's still alive.
Sie haben Kinder, ja?
Nein.
Not here anyway.
Bringen Sie ihn dazu, ein Geständnis abzulegen.
Und der Mann kam...
From driver's seat to passenger seat.
Der Alte. Wo ist der jetzt?
The thing is, he wants to kill Egon.
Dann glaubst du mir.
She already knows.
Ihr seid damit gereist? Nach wann?
Look at Peter here being much more stern.
Ihr wusstet von dem ganzen Zeitreisescheiß. Warum habt ihr nichts gesagt?
Yeah, but everyone, lots of people have known and not said anything.
Wer?
Yeah, Jonas is here.
Wie Bartosz gesagt hat. Aber er ist älter.
And they already know too.
Es ist besser, wenn ihr euch da raushaltet.
Nah, they all need to be in on this, I think. Share their collective knowledge.
Ich würde gerne kurz mit ihm alleine sprechen.
She obviously doesn't have the time machine here with her because they wouldn't let her come in with a briefcase, but is there a way she could get him out somehow? Oh, she does actually have it right there. Okay, but she's not going into the cell. He's coming out here. How's he going to react though? Because where they last left off.
Ulrich.
Yeah, he's not even looking at her.
Ulrich, ich bin's.
Bist du wirklich?
Yeah, he thinks it's all just a dream or a vision.
Oder bist du ein Engel? Du bist es.
Ja.
Is she an angel or a devil? It's like if she brings the briefcase over, activates it there, it'd only take those two, they'd be in range, but then as Egon could run over and run in.
Wenn du heute wählen könntest. Zwischen Katharina und mir.
Still all about that. But is he just saying that to get out, or does she think he's just saying that to get out?
Du musst mich hier rausholen. Ich tue alles.
She's just gonna leave and he stays it because we know he doesn't get out of here.
Ähnlichkeiten mit ihm, aber
Look at the way she was touching his face though. I don't think he believes that. And he obviously hears her shouting, hears him shouting Hannah, you know? Look how similar their noses are in the side profile. Okay. Are you going to the 80s? Do they truly know how to operate it without Bartosz here, you know? They might mess it up and go to the 50s or something.
Weiß ich nicht. Bartosz hat ihn benutzt.
Yeah, don't go experimenting and playing with it if you don't know what you're doing.
für alles andere kommen wir wann anders wieder.
Ich brauche nur eine Minute.
He's got a lot of stuff to pack.
Ich frage mich, warum er mit ihnen in die Höhlen wollte.
He wants to explore the cave as well.
Aber irgendeinen Grund muss es doch geben, warum er dahin wollte.
He knows something's off, something's wrong.
Was weiß ich?
Du weißt über die Zeitreise Bescheid.
She hasn't been as shocked as she should have been.
Wir müssen die Höhlen durchsuchen lassen.
Da ist nichts in den Höhlen! Es gibt keine Zeitreise!
Wir sollen die Höhle durchsuchen.
She's not gonna get in a fight with him and that causes him to die.
Und du willst das alles aufs Spiel setzen? Für nichts?
She's admitting.
Du hast kein Herz.
The White Devil. Oh, he's gonna fall and hit his head or something. And that's why she apologizes when she's older. It's always the people you want to save that you end up inadvertently killing. Same with Jonas.
Alles wird so geschehen, wie es schon geschehen ist.
Everything will happen as it always has. Come on. Apology. Give him something in his final moments.
Du bist der Weise.
Oh! Maybe your final words to your own daughter. See, is that him calling her the White Devil or realizing she was the White Devil?
Ungewöhnlicher Name. Kennen Sie eine Agnes Nielsen?
Nein.
Yeah, just came into town.
Da, wo ich herkomme, habe ich alles verloren. Alles, was ich will, ist ein Neuanfang.
She doesn't plan on staying here, does she? I mean, you only just got Jonas back in the form of the stranger, of course, but... Egon and Hannah? What would that mean? You know, they both gave each other a little smirk there. Could that mean Hannah is Claudia's mum? If that was the case? But then she would know the actual mum because she'll know if she's given birth or not. And of course Claudia was already born by this point. The very sudden cut off. That does mean if Hannah stayed there, she would be an old woman in 86 here. It's very unsettling, this scene. I was expecting like someone to be in her house or something, someone we know. It's just her dealing with the consequences. He's looking more like the stranger here, isn't he?
Ich weiß, was du getan hast.
Older Claudia told him, yeah.
Aber sie hat auch gesagt, dass es nicht wieder so passieren muss.
There's a way to stop it.
Nächstes Mal.
Next cycle's coming up.
Wohin gehen wir?
In die Zukunft.
When though? 2019 or 52? Okay, so that was Dark, Season 2, Episode 7. So, you know, at the start there, we have that montage of characters kind of looking at characters they care about. So you had Adam looking at Marta, you had Katerina looking at Mikkel, and then kind of later on in the episode, it's almost like this bittersweet reality of those you are trying to save, you can't, and in the act of trying to save them, you actually end up being their demise. Is what happened with Mikhail last episode, with Jonas, and then this episode with Claudia and Egon. It's almost like fate or time has a sense of humour and a sense of irony, and when you try and save someone, it just causes their downfall, their demise. And then that's what we're thinking of other characters that people are trying to save. Of course, Katerina saving Mikkel, that won't work because that would mess up the timeline completely, it would just cause a paradox. And then Claudia trying to save Regina, is that set in stone? You know, we keep seeing Claudia, older Claudia, say that it is possible, but I guess we haven't seen it on screen. We don't fully know if it's possible or not. You know, we have a lot of characters trying to save Mikkel. Obviously, that doesn't work out. Jonas couldn't save him. Marta won't be able to. Ulrich won't be able to. Katerina won't be able to. I think that's all that needs saving. Unless, you know, in the future, someone we know gets in danger. You know, we've seen The Stranger, but we still haven't seen Marta at any other age, which is very concerning. Like, will we see theorize that Adam and Eve, obvious parallel there with Adam. I was kind of expecting to see an older Marta as Eve, but we haven't got that, and we haven't even got like the middle age, like the Stranger equivalent for her, you know. But of course, we've heard that she dies in the apocalypse from the gravestone, but I still don't know how true that is. That could be, you know, she somehow did survive but went missing and she's assumed dead, you know. It was Waller, Alexander and Marta who died apparently in that, but we're only going off that gravestone, so you can never be too sure, I guess. And Apocalypse is tomorrow, so I'm guessing, you know, the whole next episode is going to evolve around that, and that will be like the big climax for this season, the apocalypse happening or being stopped, and then that changes the timeline, or it not being stopped, and everything just repeats over and over again. And then speaking of Alexander, we have the reveal that Cloughton is actually Alexander Coller's brother, but the one before, the one that Boris Nilwald took the identity from, and we know now as Alexander Coller or Alexander Tilderman. So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I was thinking there was something more to Clausen. I thought it was quite obvious there was, you know, he was very invested in this case, and it makes a lot of sense that that is how he ties in. So he ties in through that, but not, you know, because he knows more about the time travel or anything. I do wonder if he will actually find out about that at any point, and like how much Alexander actually knows, because I had theorized that he was kind of placed here maybe by Sigmundus to become the head of the power plant, but I'm not quite sure with him now. It's kind of hard to tell. I was suspicious of him knowing more, but now I don't really know. But like, what is his actual origin? Why did he come to Winden and then kill the actual Alexander and take his identity? You know, we never got that backstory. He was obviously like on the run from the police or on the run from them for some reason. So it will be interesting to know if there's any more to his backstory and if that ties in any more somehow, especially if he isn't from this timeline, like he isn't from 86 when he actually showed up, you know. So we had Hannah go back 253/54, and she approaches Ulrich, confronts him. You know, you think this is going to be this nice moment, but we know Ulrich obviously stays in the prison. I don't see why she went. Did she go to see if he still loved her? And then when that was like, when there was some doubt of that because he still wanted to see Katerina, was that why she was like, okay, then I'm done here, that there's nothing between us? I mean, she's just so like cold-hearted, right? And she's just gonna let him rot in jail now, knowing that she could have like saved him, brought him back to the main timeline. Of course that would mess things up, it would cause a paradox, but I don't know how much she cares about that, and that isn't really the reason why she didn't free him, you know. But then it seems she is going to stay here. She said there's nothing left for me back there, which, you know, I know Jonas goes on to become the Stranger, so I guess he won't be around. Maybe the Stranger has told her that, and then like, yeah, Mikhail's not there, Ulrich's not there, what else does she have there? Maybe a few friends. So I can kind of see that, but why? But she's choosing to stay here, and then like her and Egon, they had a little bit of a smile at each other. Is that like flirting? And then I'm thinking of like the repercussions of those two being together potentially. Like if they got together, obviously Claudia wouldn't be Hannah's kid, because Doris would know she hadn't have given birth, right? So it can't be that she was like a secret kid. But maybe Doris does like actually know that. But then like timeline wise, that doesn't work because Claudia has already been born here. But then like if those two have a kid, you know, they could have a kid anywhere from here to 86. So that means like anyone who's like teenager up to like 30 years old, I guess, in 86 could be the son or daughter of Egon and Hannah. And I'm thinking of like, is there anyone we know that at that point that doesn't have like a father and mother confirmed? Or and then like in 2019 they'd be like in their 60s. So I'm like, who doesn't actually have any confirmed parents? I guess Alexander doesn't. He might line up timeline wise there. And any other characters who like their parents are mysterious, like the girl from the future, that's how she's credited. We still know nothing about her. Could she potentially, you know, that's assuming that they actually get together and eventually have a kid or something, you know. But then that means like in 86 there's potentially an older Hannah as well, like an old woman Hannah potting about there. What's she up to? She obviously still has the time machine as well though, doesn't she? Because she kept it on her if she is actually staying here. But, you know, she said there's nothing left there for her. But I feel like if it were me, I wouldn't stay in the 50s. I'd go to the 80s. I feel like lifestyle is probably a bit better in the 80s than the 50s. And obviously she might not want to go back to 2020. So if it were me, I'd go to 86. But then like, I guess you could run into, could you run into anyone? I mean, no one would know. You could run into like the younger version of yourself, obviously, or run into Mikkel, who might recognize you as Jonas's mum, potentially. There's still some other characters that don't have like confirmed parents yet, like Noah, I guess, because he's so everywhere in the timeline. I guess that's a possibility. And then like, you know, there could be reveals that other characters is not actually their parents who we think are their parents. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that they're like in their 30s or like between like teenager and 30s in 86 for them to be their child. You know, with the time traveling, it could honestly be anyone, and then the kid was sent back or something. Like it could be like Greta, who is like Helga's mum. You know, it could be anyone really. Not ruling out any possibilities here, but I don't have like a solid theory either. Then we have the Stranger and Martha interact. You know, obviously the Stranger's very taken aback. He doesn't know whether to answer the door or not, then eventually does and reveals himself. And Martha, she's just like obviously shocked but also relieved that he is still alive. But then they get interrupted and he doesn't actually get the chance to reveal all the information he knows. And I'm not sure if he would have, but then, you know, Marta loses trust because Katerina tells her about Mikkel and everything, and them being related technically. That was just like bad timing, because now Marta thinks he was keeping that secret when he might have actually told her given the opportunity. But I was also thinking, like, in that scene, like, if they kiss, is that a bit weird? You know, obviously he's much older, but he is the same person and lost to time kind of thing. I'm not sure. I don't know how I would have felt about that. If they did actually kiss there, obviously they were still a bit romantic, but yeah, I don't know how I would have felt about that, because that version of the stranger is like approaching 50s, right? But of course it does help that the actor does look very good for his age. So then of course we have Yona and Claudia teaming up at the end here. He's saying, let's go to the future. I'm wondering what future he is referring to, because it could be 2020, could be 2051, but I feel like most likely it's 2020, because it seems that is like the actual center of the apocalypse that's about to happen with the power plant. So it seems that is most logical for where they're going to go. But I am hoping we catch up on that 2052 timeline at some point. You know, we saw older Elizabeth with the girl from the future, and we haven't caught up with them yet, you know. Next episode is the season finale of this season. So I've got high hopes, you know. They the show hasn't faltered yet, has it? I'm sure they've got something up their sleeve, some reveal or some twist that's just going to be mind-blowing and amazing. I'm very looking forward to it. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, consider leaving a like or a comment. And if you really loved it, be sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date on all the future uploads. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.